Cyclone Hudhud is gaining speed. The latest forecast for landfall tomorrow has been scaled up to 170 to 180 kilometres, with winds now gusting to 195 kilometres per hour. The landfall wind speed was earlier forecast to up to 140 kilometres per hour. The Prime Minister has chaired an emergency high-level meeting to review preparedness for Cyclone Hudhud. The meeting was attended by the Cabinet Secretary, the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, the Home and Defence Secretaries, other senior officials from the Indian Met Department as well. The Ministry of Home Affairs has also launched a 24-hour helpline for cyclone-related information.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसका एक रिव्यू अभी शाम को मीटिंग ली है, एक डिटेल्ड मीटिंग ली है और इस पर उन्होंने बल दिया कि स्टेट्स को, जो प्रभावित होने वाले स्टेट्स हैं आंध्र प्रदेश और उड़ीसा, इनको हर संभव सहायता दी जाए। बल्कि आज ही नहीं, पिछले 2-3 दिन से वो रोज दिन में कई बार इस बारे में जानकारी प्राप्त कर रहे थे और इसी बात पर बल दे रहे थे कि पूर्ण समन्वय रहे राज्य और केंद्र के बीच में।
Well, evacuations have begun in coastal Andhra Pradesh that is expected to bear the brunt of the cyclone that will make landfall by about noon on Sunday. Well, what is the ground situation in the parts of Andhra Pradesh where the cyclone is expected to cross? Uma Sudhir has this report.
Warnings being given at the doorstep in coastal villages of Andhra Pradesh. National and state disaster relief teams, along with state police and district officials, worked all day to evacuate nearly 4 lakh people, identified as living in vulnerable areas. They are being shifted to 400 rescue shelters.
As far as possible, we will try to pursue without any use of any force. If they are very reluctant, then we have to use the force. There is no other way.
The NDRF is having a tough time making the fishermen vacate the beaches because the fishermen are very reluctant to leave their boats and leave the seashore because they are worried that if they are left unattended, they could hit against the rocks in the night and get damaged. These fishermen say they have no option but to spend the night by the sea. Each boat costs over 2 lakh rupees and they cannot afford to have it damaged. Ramulama says they have no choice but to move, but officials don't bother when livelihoods are lost.
10 కిలోమీటర్ల దూరంలోనూ ఒక జట్టి కడితే జట్టి దగ్గర తెప్పలు కట్టుకునేందుకు ఏర్పాటు ఉంటుందండి. అలాగే నెక్స్ట్ ఏమంటే ఈ కమ్మలపాకలు కాబట్టి వర్షం తుఫాను వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇలా ఎన్నో తుఫాన్లు వచ్చేయండి. అన్ని తుఫాన్లకు వచ్చేటప్పుడు కలెక్టర్, మినిస్టర్ అందరూ వస్తారు. వచ్చి చూసి వెళ్ళిపోయి మీకు ఇచ్చేస్తానంటారు. ఎవరో కూడా చేసేది లేదు. కేజీ బియ్యం కూడా ఇచ్చేది లేదండి.
The very severe cyclonic storm is expected to cross around noon on Sunday with wind speed of up to 180 kilometers per hour. Flights have been cancelled. Train services suspended. The national highway is being closed. In Visakhapatnam with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And in Odisha, the district administration in areas likely to be affected is backing its efforts with the experience of Super Cyclone Phylin, in which there was a minimal loss of lives because of excellent preparedness.
For many of these people, moving out of their homes once again after exactly a year and again because of a cyclone is frustrating. But the Odisha government says it is necessary. If it was Cyclone Phylin last year, this time it is Hudhud, a cyclone categorized to be as intense as last year. The only saving grace for Odisha, the expected landfall this time is a few hundred kilometers away in Andhra Pradesh, meaning the intensity of the cyclone will be less here.
The chairman, standing chair, the block chairman and Jilla Parishad all are mobilized to people who have kocha houses to shift them to a safe place, safer shelter place.
A few kilometers away, the residents of now Golabanda on the sea coast in Odisha's Ganjam district. A village of 250 fishing boats, 1,000 households and about 6,000 people say they are bracing for the worst, but it can't be worse than Phylin. Yet 45-year-old fisherman Girish and his 70-year-old mother Shamala, who live in a one-room house battered by Phylin, say they will evacuate and not resist government efforts.
ये बताइए आप क्या सामान पैक किया था बताइए।
घर में था वो
कहाँ गाड़ी आना से छुपा के लेके जाऊंगा, नहीं तो रखूंगा ऐसा।
हाँ, इसमें क्या क्या है?
चावल है, इसमें चावल है।
और आपकी मदर भी काफी बुजुर्ग हैं, कितने साल की हैं?
हमारा मदर 70 साल होगा।
70 साल का है। तो पिछला साल जब फाइल लेना आया था तब इनको भी लेके गए थे?
बरहमपुर चला गया था।
बरहमपुर। ठीक है, तो अभी सरकार आप बता रहे थे, बोला है कि 3 या 4 बजे आपको इवैक्यूएट
2-3 बजे आया कि कहाँ जाएगा, हमारा मम्मी डरता है। वो बोलता है कहाँ जाएंगे, छुपे का कहाँ, इधर ही रहूंगा बोल के मम्मी ऐसे बोल रहे।
At this cyclone relief shelter near the Gopalpur port, built a few years ago inside a school campus, rations and other relief material are yet to arrive when we visited. But the utensils had, and so had the generators.
अभी तक आया नहीं सप्लाई, कोई रिलीफ आया नहीं। जब कलेक्टर ने हम लोग सुना कि वो लोग का पास है मौजूद, अभी अगर जरूरत पड़ेगा तो वो लोग रिलीफ भेजेंगे, पंचायत का ऑफिस भेज देंगे, पंचायत ऑफिस से हम लोग यहाँ मिलेगा।
Ganjam alone has 300 cyclone relief shelters. The other affected districts have many more. The Odisha government is hoping that things will not be as serious as they were last year when Cyclone Hudhud hit this coast right behind me in Gopalpur. But of course, nothing can be left to chance. At Gopalpur with camera person Sabyasachi Paningrihi, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.